like this intro. A little BTS for you, I shot all of this using my iPhone 16 Pro, but the Brooklyn Bridge scene, which is from my US trip where I shot a separate creamy B-roll, so if you haven't seen that, make sure to check it out. But now, we should uncover everything about the camera in the new iPhone 16 Pro and figure out if it not only is worth the upgrade, but this year it might just become a real substitution for your mirrorless camera. Let's get right to it, but if you like the intro, show it by smashing the like button. If you live under the rock and missed what's new this year, here is a recap focusing on the camera. Same 48 megapixel wide sensor, but this year the ultra wide got the 48 megapixel 2 in macro mode as well, so it will have better details and low light performance. Now the Pro has the 5x telephoto from the last year's Pro Max, but it still is 12 megapixel as well as the front facing camera. Bummer. I really wanted that, but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
I never believed I would say this, but we got a new physical button, and not just a random one, but something called camera control that might just take the way you capture to a whole new level of control. This haptic control is made from sapphire crystal with a smooth texture that is surrounded by fine stainless steel trim. It has a high precision force sensor with haptic feedback that emulates the feel of a DSLR camera shutter, and it really does. But it is not just a button with touch sensitivity, but for the first time from Apple, it is also serving as a touch sensor that recognizes precise interactions like clicks and slides. I was curious to see how much I enjoyed using it, how natural it felt. To spoiler it, it didn't feel natural at all for first, and after playing with it for a while, everything just clicked. You get it? Clicked. I would dare to say it doesn't even have a learning curve, and once you get a hold on it, everything comes as second nature. I really think it can be a game changer. You know, the same way as you hold your DSLR and adjust it, or your mirrorless camera without needing to think about it, it really is just like that, but even more convenient if that's even possible. So, before talking about picture quality and other important things, this only is a big deal, and this feature only might be a good enough reason for some to upgrade or switch. But what do you think? Have you tried it out? What are your thoughts? Please share them in the comment sections. But a button and great user experience is nothing without quality photos and videos, right? So let's cover that in a minute. But before we dive in, I think that for a few years now, say since the iPhone 13 Pro line, we are so lucky to have such an amazing technology at our fingertips. Yes, we do get great updates every year, like better sensors, higher megapixels, log recording, and so on, but in my opinion, all of these are minor compared to what we already have. I mean, take the Apple keynotes for example, all shot on iPhone, but Hollywood level lighting, gear, and crew. So just keep in mind that it will all depend on what accessories you are willing to use with your iPhone. Like now, maybe not to your biggest surprise, but I've been recording this entire talking head using the iPhone and not my $10,000 Sony A7S III setup. But I have a pro level Amaran light with a softbox and other accent lights I use. I use my $1,000 Sennheiser MKH416 microphone, and you can barely see the difference, right? Here, check another video out with the A7S III. I hope you get the point. So, with that being said, let's check the quality, but with a game. I will show you photos and video footage both from my Sony A7S III with the Sony 24 1.4 GM and the iPhone 16 Pro. And please, make a guess which one is which and post it in the comments before the end of this video where I reveal the answers. Now, let's start with this year's big thing, 120 FPS in 4K. So, here is a slow motion shot. Guess which one is which. Just for my geeks out there, here is a 240 frames per second in Full HD, both from the iPhone and the A7S III. I mean, I think both of them look amazing. If I had a wish, I would say that it would have been great to get 480 frames per second in Full HD, since the 240 was in the iPhone Pro since the 13. And just imagine if you'd super slow-mo it in Final Cut or use optical flow with 50% and get 960 FPS. That would be a huge leap for me, and I might could stop saving for something like the FreeFly or Chronos for $7,000. Also, you can capture 4K 120 FPS in ProRes and log recordings to an external storage device. But I'd love to see a codec that is easier on storage. If you are interested in this stuff, you might be using a third-party software like Blackmagic Camera. So a workaround and the secret pro tip here is that there are other options for you to shoot log in H.265, but I think it's too compressed, especially compared to a mirrorless camera. In terms of video footage, it looks the same as last year. I mean, take this talking head shot for first, but here is a quick comparison using the ultra-wide and now the telephoto lens in normal video mode and now in cinematic mode. I know I mentioned that it is not only about your camera but other gear like microphones as well. So on that front, this year the iPhone Pro got 4 new microphones with lower noise floor and wind noise reduction that can, well, capture sound for spatial audio if that's something you're interested in, but you also have this amazing feature called audio mixing for choosing how you want to separate your sound. Basically, you adjust the way voices sound in your videos using 3 different voice options: in-frame, studio, and cinematic. Now we are checking the sound. There is the old 14 Pro and the new 16 Pro and the new 16 Pro with the audio mixing and the built-in mic in the Sony A7SIII.
You look good, everything in the picture.
I gotta say that it was way easier to capture with the iPhone using the camera control. You can do things like click to launch the camera app, click again to instantly take a photo. In video mode, click to start recording. A light, gentle press opens controls like zoom. With a double light press, you can select another camera settings, then slide to adjust that setting. And now, let's talk about the photography side of things, since the major thing this year is the new photographic styles that can not only be fine-tuned with an ease, but Apple claims that you can literally skip the post-editing and color grading in Final Cut or with your videos. The first thing to mention is that with the power of the A18 Pro chip, you can see the styles applied in live preview, letting you dial in your exact desired look with more advanced skin tone rendering, but you can also change anything later. So, for our little game, here is a normal photographic style and the no picture profile photo from the iPhone and the Sony A7S III. First, a portrait. Here it is. And now a landscape, or a cityscape if you will. And now a landscape. What do you think so far? Are these features enough for you to upgrade or switch? I mean, the camera control by itself, or do the photos and videos look better? Let me know in the comments. What I was so excited to show you and play around with was the AI photo capabilities and features by Apple Intelligence. But sadly, it is not only not available yet, but even if it was, it would not be in Europe. So it might take even more than a year, meaning that if the object removal and other AI coolness was a reason for you to upgrade, you might just wait until the 17 line and keep your fingers crossed to have the software part available in Europe. There is an important thing you need to consider, but before I tell you that, let me just say that this is what I had for you about the camera system of the new iPhone 16 Pro, and I really hope that you found this video helpful and maybe got something extra out of it, something that other reviews didn't show. If you did, please show it by smashing that like button and subscribe with the bell, since I have tons of content coming up. Oh, and don't forget to post your tips on which shot was which. I would love to see how you guess the things. And if you haven't seen my overall review of the iPhone 16 Pro and the unboxing experience, make sure to check it out by clicking right here. Oh, and that important thing is what I mentioned. It might be more about your lighting setup and microphones, so for that I created a detailed video covering how you should choose your studio lights and how you can make a huge difference. So why don't you check out these videos right here? Anyways, thanks for watching, I'll catch you in the next one, maybe in this. Click. Bye.